Hey guys, it's Ryan with Contractors Garage. I am here. It is December 29th, 2025. And believe it or not, I was mowing my yard just yesterday here in North Florida and I threw a belt. Throwing a belt, really not that big of a deal. It's a really easy fix when you need to swap it out. Just because you throw a belt doesn't mean that you need a new belt. But in this case, we did. My belt is cracked, really worn, probably 5 or 6 years old. But this is a new zero turn to me. We had an extra one on hand that came with the property. And so today we're going to get into it, swap it out. I'll show you a few other little things other than the belt change itself, just some maintenance issues that you might want to take care of on your lawnmower as well. So I have a Troy Bilt 54-inch deck, zero turn. As you can see, this mower has definitely seen better days, but really, as long as you're swapping out filters and doing your proper maintenance from oil changes and just taking care of your belts and all that kind of stuff, really these things can kind of run for forever. Especially, you know, I got a Kohler 25 horsepower 7000 series on the back of this thing, and it is a beast. So I mean, really, we're just going to be doing some touch-up stuff today, swapping out this belt. As you can see, when I was mowing yesterday, this thing kind of flew off, so it's on here. One thing you got to think about is the configuration when you're putting it back on, which also isn't that hard. What we're going to do real quick is I'm going to lower my deck all the way down to the ground, and then we're going to take off a couple of these pins that hold the mower deck attached to the actual mower itself. We'll pull it out of the way, hook up the new one, slide it through, make sure that the configuration is correct, and fire it back up and see what we can do. All right, guys. So I wanted to show you a couple things. First is when the deck itself is lowered all the way down, you're going to be sitting pretty low. First thing you do is this pin right here. It attaches to a bracket that is to the actual frame itself. So you're going to need to pull that out, and it'll drop down once you pull that out. Kind of twist it a little bit so it doesn't just fall back into place. And then you're going to mimic the same exact thing on this other side right here with this pin right here. So I did that. Both of these are loose. You know, the pin, it does a U shape here, goes through, and then goes into this hole right here to lock in, and that's what holds it in place when you're driving around. So the other thing, you know, that kind of holds it in on the left and the right side. The other thing that you're gonna have to pay attention to also is on the front here. This kind of helps keep tension on the front. This pin, you can loosen up the bolts right here to kind of back it off. I didn't have to, but basically you've got, I don't know what it is. The previous guy that owned this thing, he had one of these old monkey hooks, I think it's called that. It's actually for like hanging pictures, but he stuffed it through the hole here on the other side right there, so that it won't pop out that way. I pulled that, and ultimately I'll just have to lift up on it, get the pressure off of it, and then we'll be able to slide the deck out itself. All right, guys, so I pulled the deck out, as y'all can see in that previous segment. It's here with my mower deck. As you can see, it's had better days. You know, it's pretty rusted out. Looks like a couple of the wheels maybe have been swapped out before, so this thing is not new to maintenance. Probably few and far between. It's been busted up. I mean, you can kind of just see through the missing wheels on this thing. You know, I think I just got one balancer on here. Probably should either take that off or Actually, what I'll do, I'll order some new ones and put those on so that y'all can see that too. But yeah, ultimately, this is our old belt here. Let's take a look at it. You know, this thing, there you go. Yep. Just like I saw earlier, you know, this thing, it's got cracks all throughout it. So, you know, it was just about time to replace it. Again, knowing what kind of shape this thing was in before, I just figured it was probably just good time, good rule of thumb to get myself. So let me take this off here. I'll grab the new belt, thread it on. We'll slide it back underneath and go from there. All right, guys, I got the new belt on. I'm gonna slide the mower deck underneath, and then we're gonna hook it back up. One thing I did want to touch on real quick about the configuration on these is that your belt, at least on the majority of these that I've worked on in the past, there's gonna be a flat side to your belt, and there's going to be a groove side, or almost like it makes like a V. So on one side, it's going to be totally flat, and then on the other, it's going to taper from that flat side, that corner, because there's about 3/8 to 1/2 inch thickness of the belt itself, and so it's going to taper down into almost like a V on the back side. And each one of these wheels on this for the pulley system that ends up kind of turning the blades on the mower deck itself, they need to be flat to flat and the groove side to the groove side. That's one way that you're going to know that you are at least pretty close. You're in the ballpark of it being hooked up correctly, but you do need to have the correct configuration on this as well. You know, all the grooved ones are going to be going groove side into that groove, and that just helps for that friction, helps kind of identify a little bit how these things should be going on. Each mower deck is going to be a little bit unique depending on the size and how many wheels you have. So you're going to have to actually look up your model. But for the Troy Bilt 54-inch Mustang, it's going to be going from the outside over through this one, underneath this one, around, and then there's one back here that's on the actual mower itself, and then it comes back up and goes on here to complete the loop. From the front, looking at this thing, on the right side, looking from the front, if you're sitting on it on your left side, this right here, this pin that helps lock in to actually lock it to the mower itself, has an adjustment. And this helps with the balancing of your deck here. So if for whatever reason you hit some bumps over time and it gets off one way or another, this is one of the mechanisms that you can kind of help level it out left or right. So I just wanted to kind of point that out to you guys here. It locks in here. Right now it's pretty loose. You also want to make sure that these are cleared out. I just cleared out a bunch of that stuff. Y'all can probably see it right there. This one was empty for whatever reason. And then another just housekeeping tidbit is you want to make sure that these are all tight, that they're not wobbling back and forth. This one was a little bit loose. It was a 9/16 drive, so I had that and took care of that. Came from underneath with a wrench, and then had a ratchet up here that I tightened it down. So this is nice and tight. So we're going to slide this underneath, hook it up, and go from there. Okay, so we're pretty lined up here. I've got the mower deck slid underneath the actual body of the mower itself. And I wanted to kind of come through here and show you a couple things. So first off, this arm, which goes up and down when it's not attached, this arm slides in that little slot there, right there. And then this pin pulls that back with the spring right here, keeps tension on it. But it goes and there's a little hole right there. So you want to make sure that when you're lifting up, I can't do that with holding the phone and doing it. But essentially, when I put the phone down, I'm going to lift with one hand my mower deck so that it can kind of align to where the hole lines up with the pin while I'm pulling it back, and then I'm letting it go so that it goes into the hole itself and locks in. So I'll do it on this side, I'll do it on the other side, and then on the front, I've got to attach my leveling rod from here to here with my janky hook. The alignment of the belt is correct. All the grooves and the flat sides are all where they should be. This one right here is going to be the last one that we hook up. But before we do that, I need to give this thing a little bit of slack so that when they hook together on the whole configuration underneath, one thing that it has to do, it has to connect back here to this wheel right here. So this is a grooved side right here. And the belt itself, you got to make sure it goes around that in that groove. The lines don't get crossed further up in there, and then they go on the way that they should. So really start from the back, and then what you can do Lower down the deck there. You start from the back. Start from the back, loop around this first one. This is a flat side. So you're going to go from the flat side is up against this wheel. It's going to loop around here. This one is a groove side. So the groove is going to go into the groove of the wheel itself here. It's going to go around here. This one is also grooved. So the groove is going to go through that. That side's flat. So the flat side, this side is going to go up against that wheel, which it does. And then it's going to go around that ultimately back through this and then complete the loop there. So the whole thing is connected properly. So the next thing I'm going to do is the last wheel that it needs to go around. So right now, without all the tension on it, it is really tough, and it should be, to get around this whole area right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you. You don't need a tool for this. Really, it's just you're going to hook it around one side and you're going to just turn the wheel and it's just going to walk itself on there. Most people should be able to do it. Some people use a wrench. I don't really care to do that, or a flathead screwdriver or something like that. But anyways, let me show you guys that. Okay, we've got the belt on. This is the last step. What we're going to do is we're going to get the belt on right here. We're going to just start it on the right side of the wheel. And then we're just going to turn the wheel and it's going to walk itself on there. We're going to keep pressure on this side of the belt just to keep it closely aligned to the grooves here. But as we just turn the wheel itself, it's just going to walk itself on this, and you don't have to like worry about trying to like pull, because it's going to be way too tough to do that. So we're just going to get this thing going, get it in the groove. As you see, you just twisting. And it's that simple, guys. So now it's on. Next thing I want to do is I'm just going to fire up the mower itself and make sure that this thing doesn't kick off. Hey guys, just want to say thanks so much for stopping by the channel today. I hope you guys learned something as far as how to swap out your own belt on your own zero-turn lawnmower. One thing I want to ask you is that, like, even though I have a Troy belt, you may have a Cub Cadet or a Dixie Chopper or any other brand out there. You don't need to get so worried about what I have versus what you have. A lot of times these are very similar when it comes to at least swapping out the belts. It's a very similar concept just in general. You got to find the right diagram so you know exactly how they fit around the pulleys and the wheels on your mower deck. You know, depending on the mower deck size, you might not have as many wheels. You might have more wheels, depending on, maybe you'll have a 6-foot deck instead of a 54-inch, and you know, God forbid you have a 32-inch. You know, but anyways. Hopefully you guys are learning some stuff. If so, go ahead and give me a follow. You know, I'd love for you guys to kind of grow with us in this community. Anything I can do to help you guys figure out any issues or things that you guys want to learn about, put them in the notes. Give me some comments, all that kind of stuff. I'll do my best to respond to every single one that I can. Other than that, don't forget to follow and subscribe to Contractor's Garage. Thanks so much.